March 15th, 2020, 11:23 a.m. I was standing in the kitchen of my first restaurant, the one on South Congress in Austin. The grill was cold. The fryer was silent. The phone hadn't rung in 3 hours. I was 44 years old. My name is Sophia. Born in 1976. Raised in Houston. Moved to Austin in 2005. I worked in other people's kitchens for 13 years. Line cook.
Sous chef.
Executive chef. I got paid $55,000 a year. I worked 70 hours a week. I watched white guys with no talent get promoted above me. I watched them take credit for my food. I smiled. I nodded. I went home and cried. In 2018, at age 42, I opened my own place. A small taco shop. 24 seats. A walk-up window. I called it Sophia's Cocina. My mom gave me $40,000. My dad gave me $20,000. I took a $150,000 loan from a bank. I put my savings in. $30,000. Total, $240,000 to open. The first year was hard. I worked 90 hours a week. I did the cooking, the dishes,
The books.
the trash. I hired my nephew, Carlos, to run the register. He was 19. He showed up late. He left early. I didn't care. He was family. By month 6, we were breaking even. By month 9, we were profitable. By month 12, I had paid back $50,000 of the loan. I was making $60,000 a year. More than I ever made as an employee. I bought myself a used Jeep Cherokee. $18,000. It had a dent in the bumper. I didn't care. In 2019, age 43, I expanded. I opened a second location on East 6. Larger. 60 seats. A full bar. I took another $300,000 loan. I hired a general manager. Her name was Elena. She had worked for me as a line cook. She was 28. She was good. She was loyal. The second location opened in August 2019. It was packed every night. Lines out the door. We were doing $40,000 a week. I was making $20,000 a month profit. I bought a condo. $450,000. 2 bedrooms. A balcony. I bought my mom a new stove. She cried. I didn't. By early 2020, age 44, I had 3 locations. I opened a third on North Lamar in January 2020. Smaller. Takeout only. Another $200,000 loan. I was leveraged. I owed $650,000 across 3 banks. But I was making money. Lots of money. My revenue for 2019 was $2.8 million. Profit was $600,000. I was on top. Then February 2020, I heard about a virus. In China. I didn't pay attention. Then Italy. Then New York. Then Austin. March 13th, 2020. The city shut down. Restaurants closed. Dine-in banned. I stood in my kitchen on South Congress. The grill was cold. The fryer was silent. I called Elena. She said, "What do we do?" I said, "We pivot. Takeout only." She said, "Okay." We did takeout for 2 weeks. Revenue dropped 80%. We were doing $8,000 a week across 3 locations. Rent was $25,000 a month. Payroll was $40,000 a month. I was losing $50,000 a month.
Fast.
April 2020. I laid off 60 employees. Elena stayed. Carlos stayed. A few cooks. I told everyone else, "I'm sorry. I'll call you when this is over." Some cried.
Some curse me.
One threw an apron at my face. I didn't blame them. May 2020. I stopped paying rent on the North Lamar location. The landlord sent a notice. I ignored it. June 2020. He filed an eviction. I closed the location. Lost $200,000 in build out. Lost $80,000 in equipment. Lost everything. July 2020. The East 6 location. Rent was $18,000 a month. I couldn't pay. The landlord agreed to defer. I owed $54,000 in back rent. I had no money. My savings were gone. My condo equity was tapped. I had $12,000 in my checking account. I had $40,000 in credit card debt. August 2020. I tried to get a PPP loan. The bank said, "You need more documentation." I sent them everything. They said it's not enough. I applied to 3 other banks. Denied. 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 September 2020. I closed the East 6 location. Elena cried. I didn't. I was empty. I sold the equipment on Facebook Marketplace. $15,000 for $120,000 worth of stuff. A guy from Dallas drove down with a truck. He asked why I was selling. I said, "Pandemic." He said, "That sucks." I said, "Yeah." I had 1 location left. South Congress. The original. 24 seats. I was doing $5,000 a week in takeout. Rent was $9,000 a month. I was losing $4,000 a month. I had $8,000 in cash. I had 3 months. October 2020. My landlord sued me for back rent on the East 6 location. $72,000. I hired a lawyer. He cost $15,000. I paid him with my credit card. He said, "We can settle." I said, "For how much?" He said, $40,000. I said, "I don't have $40,000. He said, "Then they'll get a judgment." November 2020. The North Lamar landlord sued me too. $45,000. Another lawyer. Another $10,000. I was drowning. I stopped opening mail. I stopped answering my phone. I sat in my condo. I watched TV. I gained 30 pounds. December 2020. I closed the South Congress location. The original. The one my mom gave me $40,000 for. I walked out at 9 p.m. I turned off the lights. I locked the door. I stood on the sidewalk. I cried. Not a little. A lot. A guy walked by. He asked if I was okay. I said no. He said, "I'm sorry." He kept walking. I filed for bankruptcy in January 2021. I was 45 years old. Chapter 11. Restructuring. The lawyer cost $25,000. I borrowed it from my brother. He didn't ask questions. He just wrote a check. He said, "You're still my sister." I said, "I lost everything." He said, "You didn't lose me." The court required me to liquidate my assets. My condo sold for $410,000. I owed $380,000 on the mortgage. I walked with $30,000. My Jeep sold for $12,000. I owed $8,000 on the loan. I walked with $4,000. My mom's stove, I didn't sell it. I told the court it was a gift. They allowed it. Total debt, $1,400,000. Bank loans, landlords, credit cards, equipment leases. The court settled for $600,000. I paid $200,000 for my assets. I owed $400,000 more. I had to pay it over 10 years. $3,300 a month. I was 45 years old.
No job.
No savings. No restaurant. I moved into a studio apartment in a complex called The Willows. $1,200 a month. The walls were thin. My neighbor played reggaeton at 2 a.m. I didn't complain. I deserved it. I got a job on a food truck. Not mine. Someone else's. A guy named Javier owned it. He sold elotes and raspados. He paid me $18 an hour. I worked the window. I took orders. I handed out corn. I smiled. I didn't tell anyone I used to own 5 restaurants. Javier knew. He found out from a customer. He said, "Sophia, why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Because I'm embarrassed." He said, "You fed people. That's nothing to be embarrassed about." I cried. He hugged me. He gave me a raise. $22 an hour. I worked on Javier's truck for 2 years. From 2021 to 2023. I saved $30,000. I paid down my bankruptcy debt. I was current on my $3,300 payments. I had $4,000 in savings. I bought a 2017 Hyundai Elantra with 90,000 miles for $12,000. The AC works sometimes. In 2023, at age 47, I bought my own food truck. $45,000. Used. I called it Sophia's Tacos. Same name. New start. I park outside a brewery on weekends. I serve barbacoa, al pastor, and a vegan option that nobody orders. I make $8,000 a month. My expenses are $4,000. I take home $4,000. I don't have employees. I don't have rent. I don't have landlords. I have a truck. I have a generator. I have a flat-top grill that I clean myself every night. Now I am 49 years old. The year is 2025. I live in the same studio. The walls are still thin. The reggaeton still plays. I don't care. I sleep fine. I see my mom every Sunday. She makes me breakfast. She still has the stove I bought her. She uses it every day. She says, "Sophia, you'll have another restaurant someday." I say, "No, Mama. I'm done." She says, "You said that before." She's right, but not this time. I think about Elena sometimes. She works at a chain restaurant now, Olive Garden. She's a manager. She makes $60,000 a year. She has health insurance. She has a 401k. She's happy. I'm happy for her. I think about Carlos, my nephew. He moved to Dallas. He sells cars. He's good at it. He calls me every month. He says, "Tia, you want to buy a car?" I say, "No." He laughs. I laugh. I think about the landlords. The ones who sued me. They got their judgments. They got their money. I don't blame them. They were just protecting themselves. I would have done the same. I think about the pandemic. How it took everything. How it showed me what matters. Not the money. Not the restaurants. Not the 5 locations. The food. The people. My mom's stove. My brother's check. Javier's hug. I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't have a growth strategy. I don't have investors. I have a food truck. I have a menu. I have customers who come back because the barbacoa is good. That's enough. That's more than enough. My name is Sophia. I am 49 years old. I am not a chef anymore. I am a cook. There is a difference. A chef has a team. A cook has a truck. I am happy to be a cook. I open my window at 11 a.m. I take orders. I cook. I hand out tacos. I smile. I mean it. The bubble didn't just burst. It evaporated. But I'm still here. Still cooking. Still feeding people. That's the only win that matters.